Have you ever felt something so real you could not name it? A presence just beyond the edge of your senses, truth that dissolves the moment you try to grasp it. In a world obsessed with definitions and clarity, the Tao Te Ching invites you to sit with the formless, the invisible, the unsayable. What if the most profound wisdom is not found in answers, but in the mystery itself? Consider the modern obsession with productivity hacks and life optimization. We chase metrics, goals, and milestones, yet the deepest satisfaction often comes from moments that cannot be measured, a sunset that leaves you speechless, a melody that stirs something ancient within you. The Tao suggests that the ultimate reality is not a thing to be captured but a presence to be felt. It is the background hum of existence, the silence that makes sound meaningful. In a culture that demands certainty, this chapter is a radical invitation to embrace ambiguity. The hook is not just philosophical, it is practical. When you stop trying to pin everything down, you open yourself to a richer, more fluid experience of life. The mystery is not a problem to solve but a gift to receive. This is the paradox of perception: the more you reach for reality, the more it slips away. Lao Tzu writes, "Looked at but cannot be seen, it is beyond form. Listened to but cannot be heard, it is beyond sound. Grasped but cannot be held, it is beyond touch." These three cannot be fully understood, so they are merged into one. Its top is not bright, its bottom not dark. Unbroken, it cannot be named, returning again to nothingness. This is the form of the formless, the image of the imageless. This is the elusive and the vague. Meet it and you do not see its front, follow it and you do not see its back. Hold fast to the ancient way to manage the present. To know the ancient beginning is to grasp the thread of the way. Lao Tzu begins with three negations: seeing, hearing, touching, the pillars of human experience. Yet the Tao is none of these. It is yi, 11, wei, flat, sparse, subtle. These words describe not just absence, but a quality of presence that is ungraspable. The Tao is not a thing among things, it is the ground from which all things arise. When the text says these three cannot be fully understood, it points to a limit of language and logic. The mind wants to dissect, but the Tao is a unity that defies analysis. It is a Hana Wei Yi, blended into one. This is not a vague mysticism, it is a precise recognition that reality is seamless. The top is not bright, the bottom not dark, no dualities. It is shengsheng, continuous, like an unbroken thread. And then, returns to nothingness. But this nothingness is not empty, it is the womb of possibility. The formless form, the imageless image, this is the hu huang, the flickering, elusive quality of the Tao. It cannot be pinned down, but it is always present, like the background silence that makes music possible. Imagine a painter who tries to capture the essence of wind. She cannot paint the wind itself, only its effects: leaves rustling, grass bending. The Tao is like that wind, invisible, yet unmistakably real. Our senses are designed to detect objects, but the Tao is not an object. It is the context, the medium, the field. In quantum physics, particles are excitations of a field, the field itself is not directly observed. Similarly, the Tao is the field of all phenomena. To see the Tao is not to perceive it with the eyes but to recognize it with the heart. This recognition is not intellectual, it is experimental. The ancient Chinese character for yi also means smooth or level, suggesting a ground that is even and undifferentiated. The Tao is the level ground of being, upon which all distinctions arise. When we try to grasp it, we create ripples. The Tao is the still water before the ripple. Sit with that. The formless form. The silence behind all sound. Before you try to understand, just feel it. Let your mind become like a still pond, not chasing after thoughts. In this stillness, you might sense a presence that is not a thing, a knowing that is not thought. This is not about achieving a special state, it is about relaxing into what is always already here. The pause is the gateway. In our fast-paced world, we rarely pause. We fill every moment with input, distraction, noise. But the Tao reveals itself in the gaps. So take a breath. Feel the air moving in and out, without naming it. Notice the space around your body. That space is not empty, it is full of potential. The formless is not far away, it is the very texture of this moment. When you stop labeling, the world becomes luminous, mysterious, alive. This is not a technique, it is a surrender. And in that surrender, you find a peace that passes understanding. The pause is not a void, it is a fullness beyond words. It is the huang, the elusive and vague, but not as confusion, as the source of all clarity. Think of a musician between notes, the silence is not absence but the canvas that gives the notes meaning. So too, the Tao is the silence between your thoughts, the space between your breaths. Allow yourself to dwell there, even for a moment. It is the most natural thing in the world, yet we have forgotten how. The pause is a homecoming. This chapter deepens into the paradox of the Tao as both immanent and transcendent. Meet it and you do not see its front, follow it and you do not see its back. This is not a failure of perception, it is the nature of the Tao. It has no boundaries, no edges. It is like a sphere that has no beginning or end, you can never face it head-on. This echoes the concept of Wu Wei, action without intention, because the Tao acts without a trace. The phrase "hold fast to the ancient way to manage the present" is a key to Taoist practice. The ancient way is not a historical relic, it is the eternal principle that underlies all change. By attuning to this formless ground, you can navigate the complexities of modern life without getting lost. The thread of the way is like a golden thread that weaves through chaos. To know the ancient beginning is to see the origin of all things, not as a point in time, but as a timeless source. This is not about nostalgia, it is about recognizing that the present moment contains the entire past. The Tao is not something you can possess, it is something you become. When you let go of grasping, you enter the flow. The formless becomes your form, the silent your voice. This is the heart of Taoist ontology. Reality is not a collection of objects, but a dynamic, indivisible whole. The huang is not confusion, it is the clarity of not clinging to definitions. Consider a river, you cannot grasp it, but you can swim in it. The Tao is like that river, always flowing, never the same. To hold fast to the ancient way is not to cling to a fixed doctrine but to align with the flow. This alignment requires sensitivity, not force. It is like sailing, you cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. The ancient way is the wind, your life is the sail. The thread of the way is the pattern that connects all things. When you perceive this thread, you see how every moment is linked to the timeless. This insight transforms how you live. You stop fighting against the current and start moving with it. The result is effortlessly, grace, and a deep sense of peace. The Tao is not a philosophy to be believed, it is a reality to be lived. This insight is not unique to Taoism. In Zen Buddhism, there is the mu koan, a word that means no or nothing, used to shatter conceptual thinking. Dogen wrote, "To study the way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self." This forgetting is akin to the Tao's formlessness. In the West, Meister Eckhart spoke of the Godhead, beyond God, a divine nothingness that is the source of all. The Stoic concept of a logos is a rational principle that pervades the universe, yet it is not a thing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it." This echoes the Tao's call to align with the unchanging behind change. Even modern physics, with its quantum fields and wave functions, hints at a reality that is not composed of solid objects but of potentialities. The formless form resonates across cultures because it points to a universal human experience, the sense that there is more to reality than meets the eye. In the Christian mystical tradition, the cloud of unknowing describes a state of awareness beyond concepts. In Sufism, the unity of being, Wadat al-Wujud, declares that only God is real, and all else is illusion. These are different languages for the same mystery. The Tao Te Ching is not a provincial text, it is a voice from the universal human quest for the absolute. The formless form is the common ground of all spiritual paths. It is the unspeakable reality that every mystic encounters. This convergence suggests that the Tao is not a cultural artifact but a perennial truth. It is the water that flows through all traditions, taking the shape of each vessel yet remaining itself. When you study the Tao, you are not learning something new, you are remembering something ancient. You are awakening to the ground of your own being. This is why the Tao Te Ching has endured for over 2 millennia, it speaks to that which is timeless in each of us. In your daily life, you are bombarded with information, labels, and categories. Your mind wants to box everything. But the Tao asks you to release that need. When you face a problem, do not rush to define it. Sit with the uncertainty. Let it breathe. In creativity, the best ideas often come when you stop trying to force them, they emerge from the formless. In relationships, the deepest connections happen when you let go of expectations and just be present. The Huang is the space between thoughts, the pause between words. Try this, for 1 minute, do not name anything you see. Just look. Without the label tree, what is there? A presence. A formless form. This is the ancient way, available now. It is not about rejecting the world, it is about seeing it fresh, without the filters of habit. Imagine you are walking in a forest. Normally, you see trees, leaves, birds. But if you drop the names, you encounter a living, breathing whole. The boundaries between things soften. You feel the interconnectedness. This is not a mystical trip, it is a shift in perception. The Taoist sage is not a recluse but someone who moves through the world with fluid awareness. In a business meeting, instead of grasping for solutions, you can hold the problem lightly, allowing insights to arise. In a conversation, instead of planning your response, you can listen deeply, responding from the moment. This is Wu Wei in action, effortless effectiveness. The formless is not impractical, it is the source of all practical wisdom. When you are grounded in the Tao, your actions become spontaneous and appropriate. You do not need to force outcomes, you trust the process. This trust is not blind faith but a cultivated sensitivity to the way things are. The thread of the way guides you through complexity. So next time you feel overwhelmed, pause. Return to the formless. Let the ancient way inform your present. This is the art of living wisely. I remember sitting by a lake at dusk. The water was still, reflecting the sky. For a moment, the boundary between water and sky dissolved. I could not tell where one ended and the other began. That was the Tao, not a concept, but an experience. In that silence, I felt a presence that was not a thing, a knowing that was not thought. The formless form. The imageless image. It is always there, waiting for you to stop grasping. When you do, you realize you have never been separate from it. You are the formless, experiencing form. You are the mystery, awake to itself. This realization is not a conclusion but a beginning. It changes how you see everything. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. The mundane becomes sacred. A cup of tea is no longer just a drink, it is a meeting of water, fire, leaf, and moment. A conversation is no longer an exchange of words, it is a dance of presences. Life becomes a continuous revelation. The Huang is not elusive, it is the very texture of reality when you are fully present. This is the gift of chapter 14, not to give you answers, but to open your eyes to the mystery that you are. Every time you pause and feel the formless, you are touching the eternal. And that touch transforms you. It softens the heart, quiets the mind, and brings a deep sense of belonging. You are not a stranger in the universe, you are the universe experiencing itself. The lake at dusk is still with me, not as a memory but as a living presence. It reminds me that the Tao is not somewhere else, it is here, now, in the space between your thoughts. So let go. Become the reflection. Become the water. Become the sky. Stop trying to hold the river. Become the river. So let go of the need to see, to hear, to grasp. The Tao is not found in the senses, but in the silence between them. Trust the formless. It is the only thing that is real. Until next time, walk the path without footsteps. Remember, the ancient way is not a road to follow but a wellspring to drink from. Carry its stillness into your day. When the world demands definitions, smile and offer a pause. When you feel lost, remember you have never left home. The Tao is your original face, the one you had before your parents were born. It is the witness of all experience, untouched by experience. To know this is to be free. Free from the need for certainty, free from the fear of uncertainty. This freedom is not a destination, it is your true nature. So step lightly. Breathe deeply. And let the mystery live through you. The journey has no end, but every step is the whole path. Walk well.